For 12 years, the Dell Precision has been waiting to become primal. Activate now. Maximize! So here is the inside of the Dell Precision, and there's some interesting things. So it came with 24 gigs of DDR3, but it's looks like gaming type performance memory. I actually took those out and put those in the gaming test because it also uses DDR3. So I just have right now, I found 4 2GB sticks, which I seem to have about 40 of now from all the old systems. So there's only 8 gigs right now. That's fine. I just want to get it up and running, and then I'll upgrade it later. And then here's the cooler, which is really nice. I didn't know, but there's a little fan back here. And it just goes out that way. This is the K600 that it came with. And then this is the K2000 that I picked up. I have 2 of these. The reason why they're both in there is I wanted to see what happens when you have 2 GPUs. You can actually, in the BIOS, tell it which one to boot from, which is interesting. And they are 2 full x16 lanes. So that's nice. There's another PCI slot there. Little one in between. And then the old PCI slot, which I'm not sure what would you put in there. Maybe a sound card or something. And then there's the power supply. I remember I have 2 of these. So one system had a 430 watt and this one has the 600 watt. And then I wasn't sure how that was distributed, but if you look at the board, I don't know if you can see. Maybe I'll take this out. This has these cool quick disconnect things. Everything about Dell stuff is always cool. The high-end stuff is always well designed. Let's see if I can. Yeah, that was a pain to get out. So what you have here is this disconnect, and that allows you to swap the power supply. So let's say this died, you just put in another one and it just slides right in and you don't have to open the case. So that's a cool feature. Here's the PCI power slot, and I kept wondering what was the limit of the power from here, and it says it right on the board right here. See, it says slot 2 PCIe 3x16, 75 watts plus external 225. And it says it on this one as well. I'm not sure if that means 225 total or what, but that's plenty of power, I think, and that we're not running SLI or anything. So then this is PCIe, it's X4 slot, that's X1 slot. And check this out. I've seen this before, but I'm not sure what someone would use this for. Look, there's an internal USB port. So I don't know, I assume that's for diagnostic software that maybe a tech would bring with them. But the thing is, why would they put it inside and not outside? Or maybe that's some sort of security key thing that the the company would put in after they received the unit, and it would only run with that key in it. And then when they get rid of the system, they would take the key out. Possibility. So yeah, look at the motherboard. It's got a lot of stuff going on. So you have auxiliary LED. That's a wire that goes somewhere, but there's no LED anywhere that I know of. There's fan hard drive connector. So apparently this came with fans for the hard drive as an option. I'm not sure where those would go because I don't see a spot for it. There's a remote power button switch here. So I guess you could turn it on from somewhere else. There's a speaker. It has an internal speaker. There's hard drive temp option. And there's system fan 2, system fan 3. Oh, so that's system fan 1. So that must be the speaker then. Okay. So there's 3 system fans in the front under here. They're the really small ones. Then all the air just goes this way out. There's no fans in the back. And then there's a fan or 2 little fans in the power supply, which are a little bit loud. And then you have, oh, that's internal speaker. So I don't know what that other thing's for. Some sort of chipset cooler here, which never seems to really get hot. And then the power supply connector. There's SATA connections are kind of a little bit different than what I've seen. This is not how it was originally. I did this to fit the hard drive. I'll show you in a second. So they're labeled as SATA 0, SATA 1. And then there's HDD 1, 2, and 3. And see this blue one? I still don't know what that is. It says Power 1, HDD 0. Oh wait, no, that's, okay, Power Connector 1, HDD 0. Gotcha, okay. So I think maybe SATA 1, SATA 2, SATA 0, SATA 1 are 6 gigabyte. These might be 3. But see, I don't know why this is a different color unless it's just telling you that's 1. And then the white one is 1 on the SATA. So, I don't know, why would they say SATA and HDD? It would just be all SATA, right? And then, so here's my wacky configuration. So even though the computer has a very big power supply, it only has 3 SATA power connections. So I'm guessing all that power was for the GPUs that could potentially be put in there. So where's my other drive? Okay, so what I was going to do was, I have 2 of these 1 terabyte Barracuda Compute drives. And I've been saving these because if you look at the, where's the date? Now I can't find it. Anyway, these are very modern hard drives. These aren't like the old hard drives you would see normally in a Dell or something. These are new and they run much faster than a typical just random hard drive. And I have 2 exact matched models. So I was gonna try to run them in RAID just to see how that would be. I kind of chickened out on that idea. Plus I don't want it to be super loud. So I just put one in and then I'm gonna run this one externally in an enclosure, and this will be the backup to the other 1 terabyte that's in the computer. And so what I did was I put the SSD in here with the 1 terabyte. But the problem is I used this original adapter. So this is the actual correct Dell adapter for a 3.5-inch drive. And I just broke the bracket. Oh man. I have more, that's okay. How did it just break like that? So if you look here, there's the Dell bracket that slides in here. And then Dell actually made another bracket that would go into this bracket to hold a 2.5-inch drive. And it holds two. So you could potentially put two 2.5-inch drives in one spot of a 3.5-inch. But because it's so far down, this thing just does not want to cooperate. Since it's so far down, I couldn't use this connector because usually you would have hard drive. So I stole the other connector, which was over here, put it there, and then I put this one on for the hard drive. So this is the boot drive. It's a 240 gigabyte SSD. This is the storage drive, 1 terabyte. And then this will be the backup to the 1 terabyte. Because this is going to be for work purposes, supposedly, every bit of data has to be backed up basically twice because I can't lose everything. It's going to be cloud backed up too, but there's going to be files that might be really large that I don't want to put on the cloud and just keep them locally, like images of software or images of boot drives and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty old, and I don't know why I'm using this, but I am. Oh, and then the processor was the Xeon 4-core. So it's only 4 cores, and it's only 2.7 or 2.8 gigahertz. I'm hoping that's just going to be enough. You can upgrade it to a 6, the 6-core one. But we'll see. I think for what I'm doing, or what I'm using it for, it won't really matter. So if this works well, then I'd rather just put in something that uses less power, because I'm not sure how much power this computer uses. And then here's the front. So it's a little dusty and dirty still. Take this off. So here's the front. Still got to clean it. So it does have a DVD drive. It's like a laptop one. There's another slot here. It does have USB 3.0, but only one. And then there's one on the back. And then there's the fans. There's the old school logo. And you probably saw it in the first part, but there's numbers right here. You can't see until it's on. Let's turn it on. See those numbers? So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you have a problem, it's going to blink codes here and tell you what's wrong instead of making weird beepy noises, which is convenient. And then I'm going to show you the BIOS also, because there's some weird features in there. This is weird. Like the USB 3.0 thing is way back here, and somehow it goes all the way to the front. Oh, real quick, here it is on. So pretty much the only noise you hear is the power supply fans. The hard drive's on, but it's not really loud because it's not doing anything. So there was one thing I wanted to mention. So this is a T3600. There's another Precision called a T3610 that is basically this, but newer. And the main difference is it supports more processors, faster ones, and there's a memory duct that goes from one of the fans in the front and it routes the arrow over the memory chips, which is interesting. So you'll see in the BIOS there's actually, or not in the BIOS, I'll show you in Windows. One of the fans in the description, it actually says memory fan. I think it's fan 2. And I don't know why the memory would get that hot, but it's interesting. So anyway, my point is, so if I ever get a 3610 at some point, since it's the exact same chassis, all I have to do is take all my stuff and put it in there, and then I'll have a faster, same computer. So that's another reason why I'm probably not gonna upgrade the processor, because I might as well just get the 3610 and then just swap out the parts, and it'll only take a few minutes. So real quick, here's the BIOS. I think it's interesting to see the difference between this and a regular computer BIOS, because this is a workstation. It has more features, and for someone that's not familiar with these, it's just kind of interesting to see what it does. So I'll be real quick. So first we have the service tag shows, so you can actually see the specs if you look that up online. Manufacture date, so 2013. I actually thought it was older than that. So it'll show you the hard drives in there. It's going to tell you what's in each PCI slot. There's 6 total. Wait, was there? Yeah, okay. And then here's the configuration. There's the processor, 2.8, 4 cores only, no hyper-threading. It does support ECC memory. That's where you do the boot sequence. It does support UEFI, but it's kind of funky. So I'm just using legacy, just in case I have to switch the computer out to something else. So originally I couldn't get it to boot from the SSD, and it's because of this HCI. So once I put it back to ATA, then it booted. So it has RAID support, it's disabled. I don't want to mess with that yet. And then there's the drives. The rest of this is pretty standard. There's hard drive fan enable. I still don't know where that goes. They do get hot. If you put 2 in there, and they're really fast hard drives, they will get hot. And there's a lot of administrative stuff. You can password to hard drives, TPM security to 1.2. I think the rest of this is pretty, there was something weird. Oh, this is cool. I mean, most Dells have this, but you can tell it to automatically turn on when the power is restored. You can remote wake up the computer. Fan speed control. Oh, I didn't know. Interesting. Try low. Deep sleep, remote wake up, remote manageability. It would be nice, I've never tried it, but it would be nice if I could somehow remotely tell it when to turn on, and then be able to use the computer from somewhere else. That would be cool. System logs. Oh, look. You see there's a history of everything. Nice. But yeah, I mean, this would have been really expensive back in the day. Oh, here's the part where, so you can tell it which video card to boot from. I mean, to be the primary. So to make sure that that's the card that'll show the BIOS and everything. Say read. Okay. So yeah, let's take a look at Windows and see what that looks like. And we're starting. So here we are. This is the last part of the video. I just wanted to show you what the difference is between this and what would be my normal computer. So once again, I keep saying it, but I'm trying to treat this as a work PC, so there will be no games on it. It's kind of like you go to work and you use their computer. So you can't say, hey, this has Windows 11, I hate it, or hey, I can't do whatever. And that's the problem that I had with my original computer is, I mean, I worked on it, right? But then it had Steam on it, and then I would say, hey, you know what? I'll take a break and I'll play some Call of Duty or something. So there's always been a debate about if you should have a separate work and PC to the gaming, or a lot of people have a different PC for editing than gaming, right? But PCs are so powerful now that you can have one PC that does everything. And if you really need to have separation like that, you could just have two different logins, right? You could have work login, gamer login, editing login, right? So there's really nothing on here yet. I have just installed this. I had Windows 10 at first because I figured that would be more stable. But then I've been using Windows 11 now for a month and a half, and it kind of felt weird to use Windows 10 again, so I figured I might as well just do it. And I'll link the Windows 11 versus Windows 10 video below. But so this is 23H2. The one that I use on the gaming test bench PC is 21H2, which does not have Copilot, I don't think. So there may be subtle differences here. I haven't really used it yet. Like this little bell wasn't there before. What is? Oh, that was different. I thought it was little lines before. And I'm trying to not use Chrome. I'm just going to use Edge because this is really not for being on the internet. This is for using the Blender program, which is here. I don't know how to use it yet, but we're going to use Blender. And I have to figure out some way to watch a tutorial or something on it to get started. And the point of all of this, I've mentioned a little bit in some of the videos, is I want to start doing 3D printing of PC parts that everybody could use, not just printing little figurines and stuff like that. We're talking about like actual parts that people need, adapters, stuff like that. I don't know if that's going to work out because of the expense of it. I don't have a 3D printer, so I'm going through someone else locally that has a 3D printer. So he just wants me to make the files, and then he'll do the printing, and then we'll figure out the cost and stuff like that. So it can't be that hard. If everybody can do it on YouTube, then I'm pretty sure I can too. I've had a little bit of experience with CAD and architectural type software a long time ago, but not so much in the 3D modeling area. But yeah, he said this is CPU intensive, so being that I have kind of a weak CPU, I'm not sure if I'm going to be limited. I think it'll just be slower, right? But these are long-term projects. This is not something that I have to pump out, before the end of the day. And it's just for fun. So hopefully we make a little money, maybe not. Where's Copilot? It says pre. So yeah, this is going to be kind of a Microsoft, what would you call it? Intensive experience, because I have Office, which I don't use yet. I have OneDrive, which is my cloud storage, which is already on here. I'm going to try and use this. Now you're going to laugh, okay? At work, where I used to work, we use this. Microsoft To Do. So it sounds really stupid. Nobody uses this, I don't think, unless they're forced to at work. But the convenience is it's there. Now I have an iPhone and I have reminders, but guess what's happened? I never check the reminders. And then it pops up. Some reminder will pop up at the worst possible time. And then I'll just bypass it, and then I forget about it. And then 2 days later, I'm like, oh, I was supposed to do that. So I'm not sure how good this is now. The one we used to use was in Windows 10. I'm hoping that if I put a task here, so my task is to, let's see, create a post on YouTube, and then we have the time. Remind me at 3, pick a date and time. So here's the date, the time. We're gonna do 12:20. Now, if you have Gmail for desktop, you can import your Gmail calendar stuff, but I don't use the Gmail calendar. If you had an Android, you probably would, but I don't. So what I'm hoping is, what used to happen at work is whenever you would put something in here, it would pop up on the right at a certain time. And it's not. Wait, did I pick the wrong date? Here's my day. No, they already put some example one. Let's see. My day. Where's the one I just put? Tasks. There it is. No? Okay. Create a post on YouTube. Date. Today. Time. Twelve. 21. Save. Okay. So it's there. It says remind me. No. Okay. Well, it's there, but it didn't make a sound. I guess there's maybe settings for that. Notifications, Nvidia. It's got updated. And it's not. I don't know. I have to figure out how to use this. It's really a stupid program. But if it works, it'll be convenient because it'll be only in here. It won't even be on my phone. So every day I have to sit down and work on this computer at least for an hour and do work. And then I'll see my tasks, what I have to do, mark them completed. And I get rid of this stupid thing. Okay. Yeah, this is elementary. Also, see this part right here, I tried to uninstall some of the stuff that it came with. But see, I don't even want this. I have to get rid of, because I don't want to. What happens is you're working, right? And then this pops up with some news that you might click on, and then you're reading an article and stuff like that. But what happens is you're working, you're working away, and then this pops up with some stupid news, and then you click on it, and then you click on something else, and then all of a sudden you're not working anymore. So I have to try to find a way to I don't know if you can disable this or just... I mean, I don't need to see the weather 100 times a day. So I'm assuming there's a way to hopefully just completely turn that off. And then Copilot, whatever, I'm gonna try it just to see what it is, but there it is. Oh, let me just show you the specs. Did I do that already? Just, you know what's weird? Let's see, activation. I don't know why it's active. Oh, because... Oh, I get it. So I installed Windows 10 first, which activated because it's a Dell. And then when I upgraded to Windows 11, it's still active. So that's cool. Precision, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So I got a free key because it's a Dell. I'm not sure if that's... Maybe somebody can tell me. I don't know if when you install Windows 11 on an old Dell now, does it still activate? But we gotta change this background too. So we're gonna do Blender. We're gonna do... I'll be using this whenever I am here. I'll log into YouTube and do comments. And then we're gonna do... what else? I'll probably put CapCut on here because that's what I use on my phone to sort of edit videos. I tried to use the desktop version, but it's so weird compared to the phone that I couldn't really use it. But I'll try to do that. It gets... The problem with doing it on the computer is whatever you do on the computer does not show up on the phone. And then they have a feature where you can share the files back and forth, the projects, but then you have to pay for it. And I'm already paying now $10 a month for CapCut for the pro features, which I didn't want to do. So I'm not sure if that comes with the storage. So it would be nice if I could do a little bit of work on the computer and then finish it up on the phone, or do a little bit of work on the phone and finish it up on the computer. But I'm not sure if that works, but that's another story. So yeah, this is my work computer. It is for work only, I think. We'll see. I mean, I can't sell this computer. That was the whole point. It's not worth anything. I paid $20 for it with an SSD, and it's heavy. Whenever I stick it in the corner, it's there. I mean, until I get another one, there's no reason to mess around with it. That's the other problem I had with my normal computer that I used, the Dell, is I kept changing graphics cards. I kept changing this, I kept changing that, and then I broke a capacitor accidentally, I think, from doing something. And you gotta quit messing around with it. Like, even though this is a really old, slow computer, I just want to put the cover of the case on, put it in the corner, and not touch it anymore. And hopefully it will make me some money. So thank you for watching. Sorry that was a bit long, but that's just a little bit about me. And what do you think? Would you have a separate work computer? 2 computers, 3 computers, or just one? Let me know.